So, most artists have to work another job while they're working on their art career. And while that's perfectly fine, a lot of us get frustrated. I know I do. So, on one hand, don't bite the hand that feeds you, but on the other hand, I think it's perfectly natural to push back against a society that just forces us into such exhaustion that we just don't pursue our creative endeavors. It can feel really impossible sometimes to balance that day job and art career. So I'm just gonna kind of talk about how I do that today. So how do you balance your job and making art? My first step is cry. A lot. No, but seriously, emotional release is really important, especially when you're under a lot of stress. And if you're working, you're basically working two jobs, right? Like, you're working probably out of the house, and then also pouring a ton of time and energy into the art that you're making, and the art may or may not be making money. That's a lot. You got a lot of weight on your shoulders, and then you got like family and friends to worry about. That's just a lot. So take your emotional health seriously, and your physical health, because that's gotta come first, like literally before anything else. Like, before you can even think about making art, you really do have to take care of yourself. So yeah, number one, don't be afraid to cry, cause it is a lot. You're allowed to wallow for like a minute, but yeah. And then also, pro tip, exercise gives you energy, right? So if you're not working out at all, that could be the missing link in your schedule. I know for me, I was like, man, why am I so exhausted all the time? And yeah, I know all of the articles are like, exercise relieves stress and exercise gives you energy. And we all want to say that that's not true, but it is. And then now you're probably like, Charlie, I got work, I got art, I got to take my health into consideration, and now you're asking me to make time for exercise. But I promise, it really kind of was a missing link for me. So yeah, that definitely, it sounds counterintuitive, like do more, but it does help you do more. Yeah. Next thing, just be prepared mentally to sacrifice some things. If you're trying to save enough money, for example, to start your business, like your art business, you might have to not go out with your friends sometimes. If you're trying to meet a deadline, you may very well have to stay up late a couple nights, or at least just put down the video games. Sometimes you are gonna have to be denying yourself some things that you want to do in order to advance your art-related goals. Time management, of course, is a big one. Again, we got, whatever job, and we're trying to do the art job, and we're trying to have a life and not go crazy at the same time. So time management is very important. I would say step one in this section is just, instead of saying, I don't have enough time for this big project I want to do, look for opportunities and say, what do I have time for? We all want to wallow sometimes, and like I said, that's fine for a minute, but at the end of the day, we gotta pick it back up and just look for what is possible. Gotta focus on what is possible, even if it is not maybe your full vision, because that's the only way we're gonna get anything done, right? Next thing is figure out how your brain needs to schedule things. We're all wired very differently, and scheduling practices are going to vary widely. I know for me, I like to just write down a few tasks to be completed that day. The order and time of the tasks does not matter. Just task, due by end of day. And you know what? If I want to make myself suffer and procrastinate until 11 at night, Some days it be like that, but you want to know what? I'm still getting it done. So is, you know, other people, so maybe some like type A personalities would be horrified by that, but yeah. So, and then, like I said, like other people are gonna need maybe like time blocking, a little more of a meticulous schedule they can follow to a T. We are all different, so just find your style and just do it your own way. Like, I know I get intimidated sometimes scrolling through YouTube and I see these people with these like really detailed Notion templates and schedules that are all time blocked, and I'm like, girl, that's just not my style. I am an agent of chaos and that is like not gonna happen. So don't feel bad like me scrolling through YouTube. Yeah. And also figure out your natural rhythms. Are you gonna make time for your art early in the morning? Like maybe you have a lot of energy and focus first thing when you wake up, you know, or maybe you just have a really packed schedule and it's really only doable to work on your art on your days off. Or maybe you're a night owl and you know, your energy levels increase as the day goes on. So by the time you get home, you're like ready to just get involved in something. So just see your personal energy levels throughout the day and work with them, not against them, as much as possible. Again, you're gonna get a lot more done that way than trying to like fight who you are by nature. And I know everyone says this, but be consistent, you know. You know, we all have to have some bare minimum requirements. You know, that can be daily, weekly. What can you commit to? Is that an hour a day? A lot of writers say, you know, give it an hour a day. Maybe it's an hour a week. Maybe it's an hour only on your day off. Like, whatever it is fine. Genuinely, it is enough. It will add up over time. But yeah, you have to have a bare minimum that you can commit to consistently. And have measurable goals. That's another one I know everyone says, and it's kind of easy to be like, I don't know, maybe that's like, you don't know what that looks like for you. I know for me, having tangible things that are completed, it just makes me feel a lot more accomplished. So for example, you know, when I complete a comic page and I complete a YouTube video, you know, I have a stack digitally, mentally, of things that I have completely created, they're done. I have a backlog, right? That feels like a great accomplishment to me. And when you feel like, yeah, I did that, that's really motivating. So just have some kind of measure that you're gonna either mentally or even on a tracker or something that you're going to track your progress. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I am an eldest daughter. I am the family therapist, okay? Like, I hate asking for help, but you do need to for your sanity sometimes. So don't be afraid to do that. And that can look really different depending on what you need, right? So maybe that is hiring a friend to help you meet a deadline. I've had a friend help me with like flatting some comics for me, you know, so hiring a friend to help you with your art project. Or maybe that looks like asking a loved one to help you around the house because you're working a lot, you're doing a lot, and you don't want to lose your sanity because you have a messy hoarder house. So ask your loved ones for help, you know, or maybe it's even asking to use some of your time off, like to catch up on life, art stuff. So communicate with your job too. Like, if you need to take a break from that, take a day off here and there, do it. Don't be afraid to use your PTO. And back to the sacrifice thing, like, PTO doesn't always have to be like a vacation. That may be a sacrifice that you make, using PTO to advance something. Like maybe that's using PTO to go to a convention or whatever instead of a proper vacation, you know? So it's gonna look different for everyone until it pays off. So, but yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help. I know that's really hard for myself. And then speaking to modifying your schedule at work, when you're ready, maybe go down to part-time. If you're making enough money from your art on the side, you might be able to go part-time and find a better work-life balance. I am not yet a full-time artist, but I imagine going part-time is a great way to kind of segue into full-time work. So I want to thank you for reaching the end of the video. I hope these tips were helpful, and if you guys have any more, please add them in the comments, because us artists, we need the help, all the help we can get. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!